Dragon Ball is a franchise, it needs to transform, no pun intended, into something that's better. That doesn't mean it has to lose its soul or its foundation in the process. For years, I've mainly been the one saying, oh, Dragon Ball is going to be the same because it's so iconic and it's so popular that it's not really going to change, or it needs to change because everybody's going to like it anyway. And if you don't like it, why are you watching it? You could just watch another anime. And even though some of those things could be true, could not be true, after watching the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, do it. Just don't talk about it. Just go see it, come back. Now, when you see that movie, you're going to see a jump in quality. And that jump in quality is proving to me that maybe Dragon Ball should change the way it does things in the future. And that's probably a more healthy direction for it to go. Now, this video is only going to pretty much focus on the animation section of Dragon Ball. So I'm not going to be talking about the video games, the manga, the merchandising, whatever else you want to talk about. That's not what this video is. Now, if you like this video, then in the future I might start to expand on those different topics. My first point, because I don't just want to say something like, oh, Dragon Ball should change in the future, but then I don't give any examples or reasons as to why I think they should change or how. So my first thing is to change the production and the release schedule. Dragon Ball, like a lot of other shows back in the day, ran on a weekly long-running format. So they wouldn't make shows in sections like they do now. They'll make like maybe 10 episodes or whatever ones they want to start with, and then they would make them by week, and they would release it all through the week like Dragon Ball Super did. They made a couple episodes and they kept moving along as they kept going, which is why you saw the show kind of falter and fall up a little bit. So I think they should start doing the seasonal format. If you look at the show like Castlevania, One Punch Man, My Hero, shows like that, they make a show in seasons, like one season, make it, and then they release that season, either the whole thing through a streaming service, or they just release it in parts like Young Justice and stuff like that. In my opinion, it's a great way to keep a higher quality standard, takes less pressure off of everyone, and they can take more time to construct it. They can fix stuff after each season, stuff like that. The second thing I would do to change the Dragon Ball is just simply that, changing the formula and updating it for a modern day audience. Now, don't forget the foundation of Dragon Ball. I'm not saying that. I would never want that. What I am saying though is take something, let's not be so rigid with how it is in the past. If you look at the Broly movie, I'm not going to say that there was just one person, because it's not. There's an entire team. So that entire team, they wanted to focus on movement and showcasing the characters being able to move. And if you watch the movie, you can definitely see how that was a focus and that was elevated. But they did not forget what Dragon Ball was. Speaking of movement, they should change the entire animation style. That's my third point. I'm going to just skip right into that. The quality of the movie is really hard to keep up. Even harder to keep up if you're trying to do it consistently for a show. So you definitely want to give these people more of a break. That way you don't have just one creator trying to hold the show together, or you have a drop in quality that's really noticeable to tell. So, just to keep it very simple, because there's a lot of moving parts and different pieces to the animation business, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything, I'm going to just focus on the top 3 most talked about animators in the Dragon Ball franchise as of late, which is Yamamuro, Takahashi, and Shintani. Now, me personally, I would say you use Yamamuro for the scenes where people aren't really doing too much. They're just talking, they're really static, or there's light fighting. And if you don't know what Yamamuro's style is, nowadays he's the main guy that was on Dragon Ball Supers or the Dragon Ball Heroes promotional anime or the older movies. He's like the main Dragon Ball guy as of right now. He was back on Dragon Ball like in the 90s, like Cell Saga, Buu Saga. That's when he was in his prime. He's not there right now. He lost it. I'm not gonna lie. It's not bad. I like his style, but it ain't the same. So keep him there. Just put him more towards the simple scenes. Takahashi, use him when you want to use that Dragon Ball Z nostalgia. You want to invoke the feelings of Dragon Ball Z. Now, if you were watching Super and you saw Yuya Takahashi's art, his style, you're like, yo, that looks just like insert episode here, or old school Dragon Ball. When you want to do that, put him. That's where you keep him on the team. Now, Shintani, when you want to focus on choreography, movement, speed, things like that. If you watch the movie, when you want to do intense, epic fight scenes with different angles and choreography and stuff like that, that's where I would put Shintani. There's other people you would use on the team too, but if we're just talking about the 3 main guys, that is where I would go with that. Speaking one more thing, it's not always just about the art. The writing style is very important. Talking about the Broly movie one more time, can you tell I'm hyped for that movie? They took Broly, established, popular, yet non-canon character who, honestly, I wasn't a big fan of, not gonna lie to you. Didn't like the old Broly much at all. He's kind of boring, one-dimensional, not for me. But they took their time, they had a vision, they had a plan, they stuck to it, they wrote him in a new, nuanced, subtle, character-driven way that's much better than his first appearance, to the point where I don't even want to see his old appearance anymore. Now, taking that sort of new approach to writing Dragon Ball and their characters and stories, but not losing its foundation, that is the way I would go. Essentially, you don't lose your sense of self and identity, but you can make a new one for yourself without necessarily forgetting how you got there in the first place. Hey everybody, how you doing? Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Like I always say, you don't have to be here, but you choose to, and I appreciate that. I saw Dragon Ball Super Broly. I don't know if you figured that out by now, but if you didn't, that movie is fire. I mean fire. Please, if you like Dragon Ball in any way, shape, or form, go check it out. It's one of the best Dragon Ball products that they've put out in a long time. That and Fighters. Speaking of Fighters, I play on stream on Twitch many different games, but since it's a Dragon Ball video, I'll talk about Fighters from Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So if you catch me on my Twitch, I'll put it in the link description. You'll be able to catch me there, but I'll save that for a completely different video. Thanks for watching. Peace.